Anyway, this is Operations Officer, codename Windfall. I am deep, deep in somewhere. A deep hole. I've understood, mostly because some of my memories coming back from, well, a time when it was fully engaged. But and I understand like quite a lot about things and stuff. It's just, they say, your reputation depends on the company you keep, right? I got a really shitty, rotten, lousy, filthy, unpleasant, dirty reputations because of the company I keep. But I have no choice. It's like, let's say you're in Folsom Prison in California, and you've been there 20, 30 years, and you've been around like all these evil motherfuckers. I mean, evil, tattoos and just nasty, filthy motherfuckers for 20 or 30 years. I mean, just what kind of critter would you come out like? I mean, what would you look? How would you behave? But let's say, on the other hand, like in the movie Monty Python and the Holy Grail, you're like Sir Galahad, or is it Sir Lancelot? I don't know which one it was. But anyway, he comes to a castle where he's greeted by a woman, a beautiful woman, and there's like 100, maybe 200, well, a lot of really nice, hot-looking babes in this castle, and they spend all their time making underwear, making sexy underwear, and putting on sexy underwear, and taking off sexy underwear. And they really want Sir Lancelot, or was it Sir Galahad, to stay and hang out with them, And of course, one thing might lead to another, and you never know. So anyway, he's he's supposed to be in pursuit of the Holy Grail, whatever that is. It's supposed to be a cup. Anyway, and he's by himself, because they don't have to, in the film, which is really funny. He doesn't actually ride a horse. He's what he does is he has someone, like a servant, with coconuts, clapping the coconuts to make it sound like a horse, because I guess they can't afford horses. Anyway, but one of his fellow knights comes into the bursts into the castle. Well, he's just settling down the first night, and he sees what's going on. He says, "We have to go," and so he draws his sword to fend off the sexy, hot babes, that are trying to keep the first night like there with them, so they can enjoy his company and other attributes, I suppose. But the first night insists, and and is very, very frightened by the prospect that I mean, the second night is very, very, it draws his sword and is very frightened apparently by the mere possibility that the first night might stay there and be corrupted by all these hot chicks, with their whatever. So now, if he had stayed by the company's keeps, he would be, well, he'd be a ladies' man, right? And he could stay there 20 or 30 years and, enjoy yourself and have children and good things like that. And protect the castle and, of course, the babes. But the second night insists that he go because they got to find the Holy Grail. All right. So he sort of drags him out. And that's what happens. Now, if I was, let's say hypothetically, I was the first night, and the second night hadn't found me, but the first night, I was the first night, and I was in his castle with these hot chicks, and babes, and it was clinging to me, and well, I'd be known by the company I keep, which probably wouldn't be so bad. But and maybe someday that'll be true. Maybe I'll be like around these really hot chicks, and I'll be able to enjoy their and dally with them, and maybe I can write stories and things, and dream up like ideas for stories, and I mean that could happen. So, on the one hand, right now my reputation is like absolutely bad, but in the future it might be absolutely good. See, so so what may look like I'm in the dark, I'm in the deepest despair and woefully unprepared for the future, and it may be true. But in the future, I may be in the light and gloriously, bejeweled, bejeweled with the prospect of having like lots and lots of female company that I can use to comfort me in my later years. That's all I can really say.